live from Augusta with a First Alert weather update.
We are tracking what is now Tropical Storm Helene as it makes landfall across the CSRA. You're taking a live look at our First Alert radar network and local damage as heavy winds and rain has touched down in our area. Our live team coverage starts now. Good morning. I'm Ashley Campbell. Thanks for joining us this morning. It is 5 o'clock on your Friday. We're going to go ahead and get straight to Riley now, and it's a tropical storm now, so that just now happened.
Live, local, trusted. This is WKYT News.
Tropical Storm Helene now pushing moisture and even some wind into our area, and it's gonna get worse. I'm tracking that coming up.
Powered by WCTV.tv. Eyewitness News at 4 starts now.
Today at 4, after Hurricane Helene, we are going around the Big Bend in South Georgia, seeing the scope of damage from this historic storm, the strongest ever to make landfall in our area. Thank you for joining us for your news at 4. I'm Ava Van Dalen. Helene, devastating and deadly. At least 25 people killed across several states, about half of them in Georgia. Now we're seeing the worst damage from the storm in Taylor County, and our Zach Dahlheimer is there and leads off our live team coverage. Zach, what have you seen today?
From WALB, your hometown news source, this is breaking news.
This hour, streets are flooded, cars submerged, trees are down, and power is out all across the Peach State. 11 people declared dead from what was Hurricane Helene-related incidents in Georgia. Also, a South Georgia firefighter from Pierce County among those killed. Officials say he was a veteran firefighter who died when a tree fell on his cab truck while responding to a call for service following Helene. And the National Guard has been deployed in Florida as more images of extensive damage and flooding pour into our newsroom. We were with you every step of the storm last night, and our coverage continues right now at 4.
Powered by mysuncoast.com. ABC 7 News at 7 starts now.
Take a look at this, an aerial view of flooding in Venice after Hurricane Helene. Just one sign of the storm's destruction.
Plus, it could be weeks before people can return to Anna Maria Island. This video showing a fire breaking out amidst the floodwaters there. Welcome to ABC 7 News at 7. I'm Karen Kim, and we begin with team coverage of Hurricane Helene.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Summer Smith. Well, the top story this evening after the storm, and we are starting in one area that is prone to flooding. Most of St. Armand's Circle closing the day before the storm, and now it remains completely shut down tonight. ABC 7's Michaela Redman has more.
Coverage you can count on. You're watching WTVM News Leader 9 Evening, sponsored by Montlick Injury Attorneys.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to News Leader 9 Evening. I'm Rosalind Giles. Thanks so much for joining us tonight. And we begin with the aftermath of Helene. The hurricane has finally passed, and some residents in the Chattahoochee Valley are dealing with this powerful and massive storm, what it left behind. The damage around here, not as bad as what Helene caused in our surrounding areas. Our Dylan Seymour has more.
The heavy tropical downpours have moved out of the Carolinas, but now eyes are on some of our rivers. I'll let you know which rivers might get into a major flood stage. Plus, your pretty nice weekend weather-wise forecast.
Helene unleashes historic flooding, evacuations, and devastation. We're showing you the damage tonight.
Widespread power outages after Helene devastates the southeast tonight. Crews race to get the electricity back on.
Residents who live nearby say the Broad River is getting higher by the hour. I'm Casey Jones in Cleveland County. I'll tell you what residents are doing to prepare and when officials think the worst could hit.
Hurricane Helene has left many homes looking just like this here in York County. I'm Zane Cena, visiting a house where a tree came down onto a family while they were sleeping in bed.
WCCB News at 10 starts now on Charlotte's CW.
The priority now is saving lives.
Commemorating 70 years. This is News 13 at 11.
Alarming new images tonight of the catastrophic damage from Helene. This video is from Tunnel Road in Asheville.
Yeah, shocking images here. You can see the entire home floating by in the floodwaters and the swift water rescue team there ready to respond. And this is just one of the many videos and pictures showing the scope of what we're dealing with right now.
Another alarming image from the Jeff Bowen Bridge. You can see the French Broad River flooding New Belgium and flowing over the Craven Street Bridge. Riverside Drive also underwater, along with most of the River Arts District. The city of Asheville is under a curfew right now until further notice. It's from 7:30 p.m. to 7:30 a.m. Many other towns are doing the same.
And that's just one of the many elements showing the scope of this historic flooding that we're dealing with. And it will continue over the next several days, as Jason and Megan have been reporting. It's an urgent reminder. It is not safe to be out right now. The flooding, the trees, the downed power lines, it's extensive.
Our News 13 team is here dealing with the same issues that you are right now. The cell service problems, the roads are not safe to be on. Authorities say if you have an emergency, you should text 911.
I was trying to make it to my mama's house, but it's neck deep here. I'm not able to get any further.
Anybody in your house? Fire department! Fire department! Hey, come on out, we got a boat!
We could hear the wind. Oh yeah, it was rattling them walls.
Some of these places just got finished recovering from Idalia. Just had this happen.
After the most punishing night any of us could ever have imagined, the morning is breaking bright and beautiful, which is a cruel irony.
Powerful words from people who endured the full force of Hurricane Helene. Good evening. I'm Martha Sigalski. Here's the latest now on the storm. It's now weakened to a tropical depression and is currently over Kentucky and Tennessee. Millions of people are without power and at least 40 people have been killed. Let's take a look at some of the damage in its wake. Tampa's mayor providing this stunning video showing extensive flooding in the Davis Islands neighborhood and the waterfront areas. The severity of the storm didn't just affect, though, us here in the Sunshine State. In Georgia, this is the moment the rescue crews on boats managed to save several people from the unprecedented floodwaters.
Now at 11, cleanup far from over after Helene's brush with northeast Florida and southeast Georgia.
Yeah, it's very tough. It's upsetting.
Columbia County recovering from a near total loss of power.
And I pray for the people that did have things happen to their house.
Mayor Deegan going door to door to check on Jacksonville neighbors.
Thank God it didn't fall on your house. From JFRD to JEA, a look at the response across our area.
Live at 11, CBS 47 Action News Jax begins with First Alert Weather.
Dozens of families are either sleeping in damaged homes or they are in unfamiliar beds. We're going to hear from one father coping with the destruction that Helene left behind. Good evening, and thank you for joining us tonight at 11. I'm Jennifer Bellamy. Helene has left an enormous path of destruction across the entire southeastern United States. According to the Associated Press, at least 15 people lost their lives here in Georgia. The U.S. Department of Health and Human Services has declared a public health emergency for Georgia to address the health impacts of Hurricane Helene. This will free up more for health providers and supplies.
Tonight, this is the scene across the metro area as the cleanup begins from the damage caused by Hurricane Helene. The death toll in Georgia includes 2 children. Their big sister describes what she saw.
My mom and my dad wasn't in the right moment to talk.
Plus, where a manhunt is happening now for an alleged murder suspect on the run after escaping officers at Grady Memorial Hospital. WSB Tonight starts right now.
We saw you through Helene, and now comes the hard work of cleaning up. Good evening. Thanks for joining us. I'm Wendy Corona. George Estevez has the night off. So the focus now shifts from rescue to recovery. Channel 2's Courtney Francisco is live in a northwest Atlanta neighborhood where flood waters there covered the road. They swallowed up cars and are finally receding tonight. Courtney, families there transitioning to the cleanup phase.
As part of Interstate 26 washed away by floodwaters. And residents in Damascus, Virginia are now under a curfew following storm damage.
From WCYB, this is News 5, tonight at 11.
Dangerously high water in Unicoi County, stranding patients and staff on a hospital roof for hours today. Good evening, I'm Casey Getz. News 5's Preston Ayers was at the scene to show us the life-saving rescue.
An hours-long rescue operation unfolding in Unicoi County Friday after floodwaters of the Nolichucky River surrounded Unicoi County Memorial Hospital.
News Channel 9 at 11 starts right now.
Some people in Tennessee are still in need of emergency help, even as the threat of Helene winds down. In fact, the Tennessee Fire Department is now in Newport after what the mayor describes as a dam failure. Thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Kim Chapman-Whitfield. Here's one example of Helene's impact in Chattanooga. This is drone video of Reggie White Boulevard. Our crew was there as water flooded the entire road. Other roads throughout the area were shut down for a time, including parts of Amnicola Highway.
Here it goes. People of the tri-state facing a big cleanup job from Helene, the widespread damage from dangerous wind gusts and heavy rain. Left in the dark, tens of thousands of customers are without power in Ohio and Kentucky tonight. The one safety problem caused by the storm that's slowing repairs.
Tropical storm force wind gusts finally exiting the tri-state, but we're not quite done with the rain yet. Talk about those soggy details in your Weather Authority forecast.
No bones about it.
I stopped dead in my tracks in the driveway looking at that letter.
How one letter turned an Oxford man's plan to scale back a Halloween display into something even bigger and more important.
Breaking news alerts and the Weather Authority forecast. This is Local 12 News.
Good evening, everyone, and thank you so much for joining us here tonight for Local 12 News Live at 11. I'm Kyle Linsky. So the remnants of Helene snapped trees and knocked out power for thousands of people all around the tri-state. These are just a few of the pictures that you all sent in to us through our Chime In feature. Meteorologist Eric DeBroca is tracking the storm for us right now in your first forecast. All right, Eric.
What a day across the tri-state.
Live, local, late breaking. This is 44 News. We begin tonight with a Storm Team 44 weather alert.
First tonight, a Storm Team 44 weather alert. Rain and strong winds are sweeping across the tri-state, putting a damper on events happening this weekend. What we are experiencing now is just a tiny fraction of Hurricane Helene, which made landfall last night in Florida. As of right now, the high wind warning, wind advisory, and flood watch are all still in effect for the tri-state. Storm Team 44 meteorologist Nicole is here tracking the latest conditions.
Yeah, and right now we're tracking what is now post-tropical cyclone Helene. It's a mouthful, but it's an important designation. Post-tropical means that it no longer has that tropical core like it used to when it was a tropical storm.
Tune in to Cumulus radio stations for the latest news, weather, and traffic from WIS 10. From starting your day to your drive back home, WIS 10 is available whenever and wherever you need it.